Hi everyone. I was thinking today. I'm not sure if you thought about it, but I know I've thought about it, and we also we think that can we read ourselves, and a lot of people will say no because we have like uh, emotional attachments to that. But the thing is we can. It's just that we have to learn to um, be open to the message, regardless if it's good or bad. That's the only thing is we have to be uh, not in control of the message. And I know that's hard for some of us because we like to control uh, the narrative of the message, of of what we want or we want to hear or we want to see and things like that. But the thing that I've learned because I can read myself, and sometimes the message isn't always good, and I have to be humble and objective and think of it like this is like the person spirit is talking to me and I'm asking for their opinion or their insight, that type of thing. You have to think of it like that because if you think of it like, it's going to be like an emotional attachment or energy attachment, then you have that mindset of you wanting to control the narrative, and that prevents you or us from reading ourselves because we don't because we have this thought that it's not going to be a true message. And the thing is that anytime that we ask our spirit guides or angels or even our loved ones about us, um, we can get that information through the tools that we use. We can use the tools through tarot cards. We can use the tools of the pendulum. We can use crystals or any type of or meditation. Okay, so any of the tools that we're gonna ask spirit or guide, an angel about ourselves, reading ourselves, um, we have to be objective on that message, and we can't try to control the narrative of the message. We have to really kind of like step out of ourselves and without having this emotional attachment because sometimes some of us might be afraid of the truth, and some of us don't want to hear the truth, and some of us want to hear only the good stuff, only the positive stuff, and they don't want to hear the bad stuff. But sometimes we need to hear that bad stuff to grow, to thrive, to get better, and things like that. So uh, there's a lot of questions about, can we read ourselves? Yes, you can. Um, it's just that you have to learn to be objective to the message and have this mindset thinking, okay, I'm gonna ask angels or the spirit guides or the archangels or whoever you want to ask this question for, to about yourself, and use whatever tools and just it's like think of it like you're asking a living friend a question, and you value their opinion and their thoughts because they're going to tell you the truth. They're not going to sugarcoat anything. And that's why you trust them and you rely on them, right? Because they don't always tell you all the positive stuff. They tell you what's wrong, or they give you a different perspective on some things, that you're kind of wondering about or iffy or unsure or undecided about, right? So it's the same concept. It's that we're dealing with spirit, or we're dealing with angels, or we're asking the angels, or we're asking the spirit guides, or we're asking a loved one, but we're using our tools as to get the message. Okay, and then I know there's some of us that are like mediums that can communicate with our guides, our angels and stuff like that. The same thing. Not always they're going to tell you right there, sometimes they'll show you the answer or their insights. So that's something to be to think about. For those of us that are more seasoned readers or more deeply in tuned with our abilities, is that a lot of times that they'll show us their insights of the questions that we ask them, because everything has its own timing, divine timing, I would say. So yes, you can read yourself. It's just that you got to learn to have a different mindset of how to read yourself. Because a lot of people worry about, well, there's going to be emotional attachment or things like that. But I know, because I do it myself. I can read myself, and I ask spirit, or and sometimes I'll use the tarot cards. Sometimes I use the pendulum, and sometimes I don't use anything. I just use uh, my abilities to connect and ask the question. And sometimes they don't tell me right there and then. Sometimes I have to, like, I would get nothing, and I'm like, okay, I guess they're gonna show me. They're gonna show me uh, to answer my question that way. Okay, so yes, you can read yourself. It's just that it takes a little bit of practice, and to learn to be objective and think of it in the mindset that you're asking the insight of a close friend. Think of it that way. It could be your spirit guides if you're close to your spirit guides, or angels, or your loved one. And getting information that way about yourself. You can ask spirit or spirit guides, say, okay, well, what do you think? What do you think I need to do to better myself? And maybe you might pull a card, and maybe it might be a negative card, but it doesn't always mean like a negative message. It could be like a message for you to look into, to to give you a different perspective of something that you haven't thought of it before, and change it, shift it. Okay. And then some of the message might be a positive, and it could be a confirmation message for you, that maybe you're on the right track, or maybe this is the what you're doing is going the right path, and something is in the future. Okay. So yeah, I was thinking about today, and I'm thinking, well, I wonder if people know that they can read themselves, and because I know I see a lot of message elsewhere saying, no, you can't, because there's emotional attachments, and you're not going to get a true reading. Actually, that is, I would say that's a crock, because uh, what it is that the people are either afraid of the message, or they've already controlling the narrative, saying that because you've already prejudged the message even before you got it, even before you asked, even before you even tried. Okay, so um, you can. It just takes practice, because I know that, like I said, there's everybody has this mindset of that. There's a certain attachment, or you can't judge yourself and stuff like that. But you're not actually judging yourself. What you're doing, you're asking spirit, or you're asking the angels, or you're asking your loved one their insights about yourself, and just see what feedback you get. And like I said, it might be something a negative, but it doesn't mean that it's a negative in a bad way. It's just showing you uh, a different perspective, either in a situation, or what you're doing, or how you're moving forward. Okay, well, I was thinking about that, so I was like, I'm gonna mention this. All right, bye bye, guys.